Hi everyone, my name is Veronica and this is my video Flosstube number 42. My channel, Veronica X Stitch, is about my cross-stitch projects, so thank you for joining me. I hope you'll stay and see what I am working on. Today is Friday, March 4th, 2022. It's also my birthday, yay! Taking the day off of work, hoping to get some stitching in today because I haven't been doing a lot of that. So in my last video, I talked about how my husband was going to have some surgery. He had a hip replacement on February 7th, and he's doing great. Thank you so much for all of the kind comments that people made. It wasn't easy, though, when he was first coming home and recovering, and I took a week off of work, but I still didn't get a lot of cross-stitching in after the surgery. But that's kind of slowly coming back, but work has been busy. So for me, it's been like about 30 minutes to an hour each day. Never as much as I want, right? But that'll be different today. Anyway, so since my last video, it's been like a month and a half. It's been a while. I do have several projects to show. I have, let's see, one new start, 2 finishes, and a bunch of whips. Normally I have a pile of things right here, but I don't know if you can see my cat Hermione's here. Here, let me show you. She is, this cat is like 18 and a half years old. She is super sweet, but unfortunately she has another lump on her, which we're going to try to have removed. And she had, last year she had a lump and we had it removed and it turned out to be cancer. So yeah, so anyway, she's in my spot for stuff. So I have a chair right here where I'm going to put, where I've got a pile. And I'll go through it now with you. So we'll start with one of my finishes. This was a new start in my last video, so it's small. Let's see if it glares or not. So I'm working on, this is called Love Bugs by Tell an Emblem. I'm working on making the pillow border piece with the butterfly. I worked on, it's done now. This is going to be my Smalls Exchange piece for StitchCon, which hopefully I can still go. And there it is. See? I don't think I'm going to make this into a pillow. I ordered a box, so I'm just going to try to put this on top of a box, which I think is, I don't know, we'll see. To me, a pillow isn't very useful other than unless you're going to lay on it or something. It's just something to display. At least a framed picture doesn't take up space on the shelf, or I don't know. Just my opinion. I don't know. I'd rather have something with like some usefulness, like an item that I could do something with. The last year I gave somebody a bookmark. That's something that's useful in my opinion. So anyway, finish number 1. Finish number 2 probably won't be a surprise to you if you've been following along, but last year, around this time, I joined the Stitch Along for the Karamos Bestiary by Ingleside Imaginarium. And so the last, well, my last video I would have had Hippocampus in. So the very last one is the octopus at the bottom here. And that was released in February. Maybe I did, wait. No, my last video was in January. I'm sorry. So yeah, this guy's done. I signed it and wrote the year at the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm probably going to take this to go get it framed. Oops. Sorry, Hermie. Oh, now you're going to leave, huh? Anyway. So yeah, that's done. I kept up with the stitch along. I'm proud of myself. It was a mystery stitch along, so I didn't know what it was going to be, and I'm not sure. It was fun. I don't know if I'll do a mystery stitch along again, just because I feel like I need to keep up. And even when I want to keep working on something else, this gets released, and I'm like, oh, I have to switch to that so I can keep up with it. But other than that, though, I did enjoy it. I really liked the colors and the look of it, and it was different, and I learned a lot too. The Brittany from Ingleside Imaginarium was making videos about each of the creatures as like a stitch-along video where she would stitch the outlining, and it was really interesting to watch that and hear a little bit about them. I have to admit my knowledge of Greek mythology is not great, but I did learn some things, and I kind of want to write down what all of those creatures are because I'm going to forget. But yes. Oh. Okay. So those are my two finishes. My one new start, So I'm doing WIPGO for 2022, and in February, the spaces that were called, one of them for me was a new start by a new-to-me designer. So start something by a designer that I've never stitched before, just to try something new. And I did. I have a digital version of this, so I'm going to insert a picture up here. But this is The Mermaid of Salem Bay by The Primitive Hare. And I have it fully kitted with almost everything called for, including the fabric, the bead pack, except I'm missing one of the Gentle Arts, so I'm substituting, and that's the one that I was stitching with. So anyway, here's where I'm at. And I'm stitching with this darker bluish color here. And it calls for, I think, Gentle Arts Freedom, but I am substituting with DMC, and it says this, I mean, every conversion that I have found says the color should be like DMC 930, which is a pretty dark blue, but I didn't think that was dark enough, so I'm blending it with 939. And it's like making it extra dark blue, which I really like the color. I tried just 930, I tried just 939. Neither one did what I wanted, but the blend is in the middle and just what I wanted. So I'm happy with that. The other colors that I have are the called for, which a couple of Gentle Arts and a couple of DMC. Next, I stitched on this a bit last month, and I also stitched on it in January, so I don't remember where I was when I showed this to you last, but this was not called for WIPGO. I just had some extra time in February, so I stitched on it then too, but this is the European Bistro by Dimensions. So sorry about the glare, but it's big, giant Dimensions gold piece, which my first one of this size. And so let's see, let's do over here, if I show you where it was last time comparing to this time. And then, wait. So I've been working this, in February I worked over here. I think I probably showed this to you. I don't know, you know, because you saw it just now, but I think in January I was working more up here. So I'm kind of trying to do this in like 1/16ths of the piece. So the design is in halves. So there's two halves. I'm done with the left half, except for French knots. So I'm going to come back and do all the French knots when I'm done. I'll probably regret that decision later. And I'm taking each page and kind of going down into, on the left side of it, fourths, and the right side of it, fourths. And now I'm working on the left side of the right page, and I'm done with 3/4 of that. So I just feel like it's kind of like, okay, this is a nice chunk. I can get that done in about a week. Especially when, like this one, it's mostly half stitches. So a lot of this design is half stitches, or like the first leg of it. This area up here was more confetti-ish than this area down here. So this one took me a lot longer, but I like the effect. And actually, that's where a lot of the French knots are too, because they're like flowers area. So everywhere you see like green and flower colors, that's where there's going to be a bunch of French knots. But I'm saving those till the end because I use a Q-snap and I don't want to crush them or suck them in, you know. I hate when that happens, when French knots get sucked in. So I have learned to go back down, not exactly in the same hole, but off by a tiny bit, and that prevents them from getting sucked in. But I still don't want them to get crushed or look bad, so I have to figure out how I'm going to do that because they're all over the piece. Like, I can't just like say, okay, well, I'm just going to put the Q-snap on so that this section is visible and do those French knots and then I'm done. Like, I have to do some way up in the corner and then some way down here. So I might just have to do some in hand, which I generally don't like stitching in hand, but it's not terrible either. Next, again, this was kind of like some extra time that's in February. This was like my kind of new start. I started on New Year's Eve and was stitching on this when the ball was falling. So this one I also have a digital pattern of. This is, I don't know the name, Baby Yoda or Grogu by Coda Stitch on Etsy. Everything I have will be linked below, all of my projects, so that if they're still in print, which I think everything I have to show you today is their production. You should be able to find it if you're interested. So I am stitched, so here's where this is compared to last time. I'm stitching this, as you can see, on waste canvas on a canvas tote bag. See, I figure I hate finishing stuff, and this way it'll be automatically finished, but I don't know if I'm ever going to use waste canvas again, because, so you can see I got his head coming along here, but I just don't like the way my X's look when they're not uniform, because the way waste canvas works is you just have these like guidelines that you're supposed to stitch between, but where in those guidelines you go can be slightly different each time. And I also find that because this is canvas, it's like really thick threads and it's really hard to stitch with. I don't think I'll ever stitch on a canvas bag again. Next time I'll probably stitch on cross stitch fabric and then just glue it on or something. I don't know if I ever want something like this again, but anyway, I was thinking the canvas tote is kind of like a sandy color, kind of like, you know, Tatooine and some of the other places they visit. And right now it kind of looks like Baby Yoda's flipping you the bird, but he does have more hand that's coming, so yeah. And by the way, this pattern has been working on Pattern Keeper, which is really nice. I'm still stitching it much more slowly than I would for other things, though, because again, it's hard to get the needle through. The way I have this right now is I have it kind of like I'm using a Q-snap, and I like wrap it around and tie it up so that I can get to the back, because obviously you don't want to stitch all the way through it, so I have it like rolled down. Yeah. And then we'll see what it's like taking the waste canvas off, because again, I've never stitched with waste canvas before, but I don't know if I will again. We'll see. So, let's see. My next WIP, this one I did have, so I stitched on this a lot, probably, actually I don't know, since last time, again, similar to European Bistro, but this was this was called for February for me, 5 days of stitching. It's called Glory in the Morning by Crosswing Collection. I spent a lot of time on this before my husband's surgery in late January. So again, this is where I don't know how much I got since my last video. But then I worked on this again in February, and I got a whole lot done, I feel like, total, considering. Okay, so I'm going to back up here. There we go. Since last time. So, again, I don't remember if I think I probably had all 3 sunflowers done, but since then, I've gotten the bird, the butterfly, some leaves, and the first morning glory. Oh, I'm not saying all the fabrics. Okay. Well, I'll start now. This is on a linen that is hand-painted by, or not hand-painted, it's painted by Crosswing Collection. I don't know if it's painted by hand or not, but it's custom colored for this piece, where it's actually got 3 different colorways on it, because they make their own fabrics, and it starts with one, it ends with another, and the one in the middle is kind of like both blues and greens. So I really like the way that looked. It doesn't look exactly like this. I don't know why this one's got like a lot of white down here on the bottom portion, which mine doesn't, but that's okay. I think it's a 28 count. It could be 32, but it feels like 28. I don't know. I think I measured it and it seemed more like that, but again, things shrink when they are colored too. But this piece is really fun. I love the colors. I love the way it's turning out. It's big though. I'm probably not even halfway done with it. And last but not least, this was a WIPGO for March for me. And so my two WIPGO things for March are this piece, which I'm about to show you, but also to begin to FFO something. So I think what I'm going to do is stitch on this monogamously through March, see how far I can get. This is Winter White Santa, MD 100 by Mirabilia. It's kind of funny. Today's my birthday. I bought this on my birthday about 3 years ago, I think. It's the first Mirabilia that I bought. I don't know if I started this before the other one, but anyway, this is a special edition because it's MD 100. It comes with a charm that you put at the top of the tree. And you can't really get that anywhere else, although I suppose if you get this secondhand, you could probably find something else to put there that you want to put at the top of a tree. I have not stitched much on this yet because it got called for March, so I started it on March 1st. I picked it up again on March 1st. And so I've only stitched on it for like 3 days. But here is my Santa. And you can probably see that compared to last time, I've just been working down here under the tree, working on the presents. Not a whole heck of a lot. But yeah, I want to see how far I can get if I just do this monogamously through March. We'll see. And if I get tired of it, I'll change it too. But for WIPGO, I just need to do 5 days on it. And it is kind of nice after some of my other pieces. This is a lot more block colors. So like the sunflower piece, Glory in the Morning, it's a lot more, I wouldn't say confetti, but it's just not like contiguous. Like there's a lot of dithering, it's like stitch, skip, stitch, skip, stitch, skip, and then the other color will fill in those skips. So I don't know, for me, I like to make my stitches neat, and so I'm trying to make sure that I'm not pulling my thread underneath to extend the legs. I don't know if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, let me know in the comments section. I can try to describe in my next video, but I try to make my stitches neat and not, I don't know, in particular. Fabric. So this is, I know it's a hand-dyed fabric by Stephanie, and it's a Lugana. I don't know the name of it. I think it's 30, I'm pretty sure it's 32 count, because I remember that's what I asked for when I went to my LNS. But I don't remember the name, and I lost a little paper. So, if you look down in the description box below, I think I have some guesses based on, or I'll put a guess based on like her website. It's really just like a sky blue thing, which, the called for is kind of a gray without any modeling. But anyway, yeah, so my next video, check it out to see how far I can get in 1 month. We'll see. Let's see. So today's a school day for my kids. I gotta go wake them up today. It's early in the morning. I gotta go wake them up in a few minutes so they can get ready for school. I gotta eat some breakfast too. And so I'm gonna get going. Thanks for watching. Be kind, think critically. No more wars. Wars suck. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.